you want to start charging them, those kinds of things. In the past, in the lease agreement, it shows that we're supposed to be collecting from the electricity usage. For the last couple of years, we haven't collected on those. Is that, those are the kind of things that we're going to start being a little bit more diligent of. But if you've gotten to take a look at the lease agreement, is there anything that stands out to you?
Did I see that it said that the city was to receive 15% of the...
I highlighted that too because I didn't know
to read
that.
15% of the camping fees.
I believe.
Has the city ever gotten that before?
That's something that I have not heard yet from Kim. I
know. I was wondering if that was the case, what kind of money they were...
I know that we've not collected on the electricity front since 2011's event, and so we've missed 12 and 13 so far. And I know Max has some information for you as far as what the city actually spends on this event, and so I'll turn that over to her.
In 2013, the actual cost, and that's our labor and materials that we used down there, was $14,889.
$14,000.
$14,000 what?
$884.39.
Generally,
about
Almost $15,000
a year.
Yes.
Basically.
And what that says in many different ways, and I can attest that for 89ers event, we spend in excess of $15,000, and so the city very quietly, I think a lot of times, supports these events in a way that a lot of people don't recognize. We just in these two events, we're totaling close to 30,000, if not exceeding it, and so we see a lot of sponsorship names. I think that everyone saw the Devon banners from Territorial Christmas and everything like that, and so you always see those sponsorship names out there, but the city kind of gets a little bit less of a highlighted role, and so we want you to know that we are supporting these events very, very much so. In some cases, we would be, if you look at numbers, we would be the title sponsor, the number one sponsor. And I know chief staff spends all kinds of time with 89ers event and those kinds of things, and so like I said, in a lot of ways we would be the title sponsor if you look at it just as far as dollars and cents, but again we do it very quietly, but we want to show you that we are supporting these events, and again bring this lease agreement to you to see if anything else stands out.
I've got some questions. This bluegrass was going on the first, second, and I think even third year that we had a coffee house downtown. And so that would be 2001, 2, 3. So what I'm wondering is, surely in all that time we have some kind of numbers as what the sales that came in because of bluegrass.
But apparently correct me if I'm wrong, Cody, but you said that it's not like a month that we see.
It's not traditionally
an increase.
That we see.
In fact, if anything, that's one of the lowest months of the year.
Sir.
But
I understand bluegrass is different. Apologies, they come in motorhomes, big, huge motorhomes. They stay down there. So they go buy groceries either before they get here or on the way. They cook down there. They drink down there. They bring their own whatever. Sometimes they don't have to get out of there. Everything is self-contained in that motorhome, and they have little parties out in front, and at nighttime they're down there doing everything. So they don't come to town, and they don't go to the restaurants, they don't go to the stores. They go down there and pretty much stay. Now there are groups, they bring in people from Japan and everywhere else, and some of them, they still come in here and you see them around town a little bit. But overall, most of them stay right down there in the flats and do their music, and that's it. You never see them in town. So
I think it's a great event, but I know very little about it. Is that a non-profit?
No, they make money.
They make money.
And to piggyback off the last comment, it's not necessarily we only look at the dollars and cents, but I mean that is what we run off of, and so there Byron Berline has done a lot for this town. And,
Absolutely.
we're all very, very
Absolutely.
thankful for the light that he's shown on Guthrie. But again, looking at it as dollars and cents,
But
and it is traditionally a lower month for sales
If I
tax.
could, as a matter of suggestion, it just seems like to me, of course, I sort of liked when I saw that the city was giving 15%, if nothing else to pay for what the city's putting into it. And how difficult would it be for them, if they haven't been paying it, to raise their fees 15% and provide it to the city? In my opinion, the people that come to that thing, they're not going to not come because there's been a 15% increase in the camping fees.
Right.
So
Well, how much is the camping fee?
it's not cheap, but I mean it's comparative, and of course then they buy. Do you know, Mayor?
The exact amount I'm not sure of, but it's cheaper than anywhere else around, so, and they're unimproved, so, but they do have water out there in some places, they've got electricity.
And it's a beautiful
And they
site,
do.
and I've been to it, and I had friends that have camped at it, and
But you
I've
figure-
walked around from campfire to campfire. Those people are coming back.
Oh, yeah.
They're not.
And they come the week before, the weekend before, they're out there.
And if it's $100 a week, what, they're not going to come because it's 115?
Well, and
Okay.
It just seems like to me the city shouldn't be one of the major sponsors,
I mean,
in my
that's-
opinion.
Well, I just wanted to talk about the first 2 years they were here. They were all over downtown. It was wonderful. They were in every venue that we had. And then I think it was the third year, Langston was building their stadium, so they couldn't use Jelsima for their main thing. All of a sudden, the Scottish Rite Temple had their main event on that weekend, where they hadn't had it the last 2 times. So their 2 main places that they had for venue left. Those 2 years, we had an enormous amount of money come into our coffee house.
But then
Uh-huh.
every place in downtown was full with different acts, and they don't do that anymore.
That's because they're down.
It's all over there.
Because the Jelsima Stadium wasn't available for 2 years in a row, and then they just gave up on us. And then, and he said, let's move down here.
Well, the amphitheater's not there anymore because they
Right,
annexed
they
there.
used that too. See,
Yeah,
so there
well,
were
they
3
used
huge.
all the empty buildings in downtown, it seemed like.
Yeah, but the big places are gone now.
Right.
Jelsima Stadium, Scottish Rite Temple, and the atrium, what's it?
Amphitheater.
I
Amphitheater.
personally just don't see how it would hurt for them to raise their fees and provide the city with the expenses that they're spending on it, but that's my opinion.
Well, kind of along the same lines as that, why we are bringing this to you, we're also very dedicated to not letting these kind of things slip any longer. And so we'll be very, very intentional about making sure that, all
Does-
I's are dotted.
Is there any information on what kind of revenue that produces?
Just as far as the entire month that it falls under, we've seen that.
No, but I'm talking about what it
The event
produces
itself.
for the International Bluegrass. How much money are they getting for campsites?
That I don't know.
Because that's in addition to the tickets to the shows, right? 'Cause a lot of people just go buy the tickets and then go,
The 3 days is like.
and I know it's not Mumford and Son crowds,
Yeah.
but,
Well, and again, kind of to talk about it, you see, we bring the electricity part of it up because this is a unique event. During Gentlemen of the Road, that production company, I know Max's crew knows this very well. They brought in their own electricity. These people are actually tapping into the poles that the city then pays for later on, and so again, that adds up to the dollars and cents that we.
and you might not even be looking at recouping the whole $14,000 or $15,000 that you're spending, even if you get this, but it might offset
Some of it.
some of the expenses.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, ladies, I guess what you're saying is that all we're doing is approving renewal of the festival. By doing that, are we also approving this contract? I mean, we're not approving it, but we're moving on to council with our blessing.
Yeah.
With our blessing.
I believe that if there are any recommendations that you would like to see in the contract, you can just kind of make a note of those for the minutes.
Well,
If you want anything added to it, but.
And it's already in there. Where did you see that 15?
I'm looking at it.
Page 2, top of page 2.
right under rent and recoverable costs.
Oh.
And so, for some reason, we just neglected that and we didn't do it?
I don't know. I don't know what the reasoning was, why.
I don't want to
did we
slow-
not collect that?
Um,
It was forgot, I think. And I'm not gonna name names or anything. I just heard that it was forgot.
Okay.
Was this, can you tell us, was this in the contract originally? This 15%?
Or is this the original
This is
contract?
the
Yes, it's
original
the original
contract.
But it
contract.
just, we just never got it,
It
even though
just-
the contract's been signed.
I can't tell you if
When
we
and-
have or if it's been 2 years since the
I don't
last
know.
time. I don't
So
have
this
those
is the
numbers.
original contract, and they signed this last year too, I assume?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it must be a while back because it's got the day of 2,200, see the very second to the last page? As in, it hasn't been 2010, 11,
Oh,
12,
yeah.
13, 14.
It was probably,
Is the city of Guthrie insured in their insurance contract as well?
Anything that's on our land, that goes through, I believe, Human Resources.
and it is covered.
So, Joe, you're thinking if we suggested that the price of the campground was raised 15%.
Well, no, but that wouldn't be up to us to decide. That would be the International Bluegrass Festival.
Right. That
I
way it
mean,
would
if
never
all of a
cost
sudden,
them.
basically, it sounds like that we've had a contract that has not been being followed. And if we approve this contract, or this lease agreement, then, of course, we're suggesting to the city council that all parts of it be enforced.
Yeah, you're right.
And it would be up to the International Bluegrass Festival to decide how they're going to come up with the, now, of course, 15% of the gross, I mean, just raising it $15 isn't gonna
Right. That
provide,
was an
it's not
example.
gonna be just 15%.
Right.
But, you know, they could raise it 20%, and, you know, instead of $100, it's $120 to camp out for the week, or whatever it is, I have no idea.
Well, I looked it up online, and for electrical hookups, it's $12 a day,
Are you kidding me?
and for a tent, it's $7 a day.
I just camped at Lake Thunderbird, it's $25 a night.
And we just raised the rates at the parks.
At the lakes.
I mean, that's,
So we need to put this
that's
in line with
nothing.
those.
Yeah.
We won't get the $14,000 or $15,000 back, but, you know, it'd be nice to have a couple of $1,000s. I mean,
Yeah.
the city should get something. is
Well,
my
if it's in
opinion.
here, it either needs to be changed or it needs to be adhered, you know.
Adhered to, yes.
That's the word. That's it.
But it's not for, it's, I mean, we can recommend that we change
We
it,
just,
but,
yeah, if we can.
but, I think it's a good idea to, as
To
is.
leave it as is
I mean,
and
it's-
just have it done.
And just follow.
I
the
imagine all the
contract.